So a small, I mean, it's a small question, but can create sort of a lot of impact on a lot of people. Who influenced you most during your school and college days? Any teacher who guided you about your career? Anybody you remember?
I will say number one, my mother. Mother is a teacher, as you know.
Absolutely.
So my mother was very keen. She's not much educated, but she would always kind of support me. Father, of course, supported financially and other things, but I don't remember my father discussing with me about my books or my lessons. But mother, of course, I still remember there was a poem, Hindi poem about Maharana Pratap. That there was I don't remember who has written it. It was in Hindi or Rajasthani, that one animal, he snatches away a roti from his son's hand in jungle, when Maharana Pratap is roaming around in jungle. So that was a poem in my book, and I can see right now also, I can visualize. I used to stand in front of my mother and I will kind of recite that poem, and my mother would clap and she will say that it's very good, nice,
she was your first audience.
घास अरे घासरी रोटी ही जद बन बिलावड़ो ले भाग्यो, माने घास का रोटी है, वो बन का एक बिलाव लेके भाग गया है, तो राणा के मन में बड़ा दुख आया, something like that. So that way she would discuss with me, and she supported, promoted, motivated me for education, for studies. Teacher, one particular person I can say, yes, he is no more, Dr. Arun Bothra. Dr. Arun Bothra was my political science teacher in college, and he will always talk about principles. He would always say that don't think about these marks and rank and all these things. Think about principles. These things will, after 10, 20, 30 years, nobody talks, like today, nobody is going to ask you how much you scored in history. Absolutely. In 10th, or how much you scored in BA or MA in which paper. Those days when we were studying, this would have been a very, very important thing for us. Absolutely. But today nobody bothers about it. But what people see and what people evaluate you with is your principles. How you behave with people, how you work in your profession, all these things. One thing I remember, which will be interesting for the audience, I would say, he had a habit, Professor Srivastava, he had a habit, once he will come to class, other than that, Rousseau, Hegel, Marx, all those chapters in political science, he would rather talk about things happening in the country, like whatever was the news headline that day. He will come and start talking about some presidential election or some government getting toppled or something like that. Those days, whatever Punjab problem was very much there. Right. So he will talk about that. And mostly his syllabus was unfinished, but rather than teaching us about those political theories, he taught the class about the real political science, the current situation, current affairs. Maybe because of that I got interested into current affairs, right, which helped me in UPSC later. Right. But the point I was trying to make here is that I particularly was very happy taking part in those discussions in the class. So what I will do, what we would be doing, we were five friends, Kailash, Gopal, Arun, Ishwar and Vinod, 5 of us. So what we will do, we will, before he will enter the class, we will write something on the blackboard, one sentence, maybe 10, 20 words. And I will draft that. So that I would say would have been my first tweet.
Absolutely, I was just coming there.
Right. That was kind of Twitter kind of thing.
How to communicate with minimum...
Twitter kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So we were tweeting actually. It was not, social media was not there, Twitter was not there. But that was something I still remember. I would write say 10, 20 words. My writing is not very good. So Gopal, his writing was good. So I will write something on the paper, Gopal then write very neatly on the blackboard. And the teacher comes, after the attendance, he will look at the blackboard and he will start talking about that, because that topic was more interesting than this thing. So we would kind of prompt him. It was a prompting him to talk about something about that current situation, current news and all. So that was, I would say that it was in a way tweeting those days when Twitter was not there. So Professor Srivastava, yes, I remember him. Still I remember. He has influenced me quite a bit.
Thank you so much. In fact, that tells our viewers and audience so much, that summarizing and doing a bit of comprehension in school and college helps so much in telling what you want to say in because our attention spans are actually going down, and it's very important to tell what you want to tell in short. So Twitter has also helped.